Apostle, can she say, no, I don't want to go, Apostle? No, she can't say that because they will kill her. See?
On the spot.
But see, he's so quick to try to defend the indefensible. You can't defend this. It's right there. All right, let's go on.
But real quick, don't please let me interject, King, real quick. Plus, while she's there, if some other guy on your gang takes her and grapes her, she gets beaten. He doesn't. That's in the scripture.
Think about that. See, Apostle don't want this smoke with me, man. Because what they do, Brother Rod, is they add to the scriptures. They add to it. And I like when you said, that's not in the scriptures. You can't see that in the scriptures. He talking about that was a spiritual death. No, the hell it wasn't. It says that day you will die. On that day you will die. And
it's a surely die. That means ain't no doubt about it. You dead that day.
Right. It don't say nothing about no spiritual death. They added that. But anyway, let's move on. Genesis, do you have a question?
Yes, I do.
Let's go.
Okay, so this is going to be a little bit more about like closer
to
the end.
Go ahead.
Right. So in the movie Nope, I'm not sure if you see the movie Nope by Jordan Peele.
I don't think so.
I didn't see it either.
So there's these things that were UFOs that everyone thought to be spaceships. However, in the movie, as they like found out that the UFOs are Nope, not of planet Earth, right? Were actually a predator-like creature organism and not a spaceship. Recently, they admitted to UFOs existing in Congress, and they mentioned that they are not sure if the UFOs that are coming up out of that they're coming in contact with are machines or organisms coming up out the sea, flying around, going to nuclear power plants, cutting off and on nuclear reactors. What is your take on unidentified flying objects as organisms? Could this civilization, could it be underwater? Could it be a creature from underwater? Are there any stories of this? Could Anunnaki be underwater instead of in outer space? In Yoruba tradition, we have a concept called Olokun, which is the deep, dark parts of the ocean that's still a mystery. What are your thoughts? Is there a connection? Is there any ancient texts that talk about any kind of like UFO like objects that come up out the ocean and are like creatures, or maybe they are machines, or what's your take on that?
Well, you go to the Dogon, the Dagon that came from the waters, and they was dressed like fish, right? So we do have stories of people coming out of the water to teach humans on land. But it don't say if they got a ship under the water. It just said that the Dogon came out of the water. That's the fish head god that the Pope wear a hat in commemoration to, right? And this not a unknown phenomenon to experience what people refer to as mermaids or people that swim in the ocean. You still have tribes in South Africa that free dive. Then you got them in Asia that free dive without scuba gear, been doing it for thousands of years. And they say they got it from their ancestors who originally came from the water onto the land. So that concept is in a lot of legends around the world. And as far as them being the ships themselves being an organism, I can't say one way or the other. I have no information to say that the ship itself is an organism, but we do know that some of the ships that's crashed, they've recovered organisms from, because they disclosed it in the Senate hearings that they had what's called biologics, which is the body of what they classify as an alien.
So would you think that, like, okay, for instance, that the mermaids are just fish, kind of like humanoid fish swimming around? Or do you think they might be underneath the water with advanced technology? If there were Anunnaki and like maybe the earth probably went through a change, that maybe the Anunnaki, some of them probably like went underneath the water and created like a civilization there. And now they're like ships are coming up out the ground and flying over stuff instead of coming from outer space. But maybe they're here already in the ocean and just coming up out the water.
Several ufologists have put forth that the beings that we seeing is coming from inner earth and they coming from beneath the oceans. And they present different lines of belief to why they came to that conclusion, right? So it's really a hazy topic because a lot of the UFO experience information has been kept concealed from us. We couldn't cross-reference or research until now. We starting to get access to this information, and then we'll be able to review it and go over it later. But all of the information is still not available to us because they still disclosing in real time.
And you know, recently they're saying that we live in like a dome-like thing. It's that we can't get out of this dome, right? And then when you see rockets go up, it looks like it hits the dome and comes right back down. So would the actual Anunnaki story be kind of a thing where we're thinking that it's coming from outer space, but it's really coming from deep within the Earth, within under the ground from the Earth, from like a flat plane?
Well, according to some of the ancient legends, the reason they can't leave the Earth is because we in what's called a light cold lockdown. The light cold lockdown is the description of what we call the Van Allen belt. The Van Allen belt is the radiation barrier into outer space, and they have what's called windows to shift them from one level of atmosphere to the other. And so the dome is actually the furthest reaches of a torsion field, and it's some kind of science involved with keeping us within the confines of that radiation belt.
All right, let's move on. Hold on, Genesis. Let's get to Meta Williams in the building. What up, Meta?
You got to unmute yourself, brother.
Yes, sir. Peace to you, brother. Good to see you,
It's
man.
Meter. My bad. Hey,
Meter.
man. Peace to the panel. What's up, Chief Pontiac?
Peace, God. How you
Rod
doing?
Hayes, man. I had dreads, bro. We chopped it
Yeah.
up a few times. But I got a couple of things to add, and it's just to add on to some of the things that you were saying. And it is dealing with the GG. So the GG was stationed, well, what's that? The Emerald Tablets of Thoth, and it's a couple areas where they explained about the GG. The GG was
I think
in
it's
Mars.
Atrahasis.
Yeah, the GG was stationed in Mars, and it was a working class, and they had got fed up because they didn't have no women or nothing, and all they was doing was just working. But from my understanding, it was more of them than it was. Well, it was all Anunnaki. It was just different races, and I knew Cain because of Enlil and Enki on and off disputes. So when the GG got aggressive, then I knew stepped in and gave them a little bit more. But then this is where I want you to go in at. Eden. Cause some say it was like a laboratory, gated. And when the GG came down, and then Anu was like, yo, this is what we're gonna do. That's when they got the splice and things like that with Eden. And then you got Anana. She carried the first Homo sapiens sapien for to be a working class, like slave.
Mm-hmm.
Can you elaborate on that?
We already touched on all of that you just said.
I set the phone down for a minute, man. I apologize.
Yeah, we went over all that information already.
Yeah, but then, well, we can go in on. Can you explain? Well, you did a show with what's the name with shadow work. I just want to go deep and just give the people, you know what I'm saying, a little wide range of how you becoming, man, and it be so deep and dope. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Well, we
Hey,
just right
side, come
now.
back to
Yeah, right now we just on here with Side. He wanted to talk about the Anunnaki, so we
yeah,
going
yeah,
we
yeah,
you know
yeah.
so
I you know,
yeah.
yeah. So side, come
All
back
right.
to me, man.
All right.
I can
Let me
just
get to
come back to me.
let me get to my man Cosmic Chris. I know Cosmic getting ready to go into space. He getting ready to get into the aliens. And I think Cosmic think he's probably one of the new you
The
know,
phenom. The phenom.
Anunnakis. Let's go, Cosmic.
Yeah, shout out to you, peace to the
Peace.
panel. No,
Peace, brothers.
I just want I'm coming to you more of a student right now. I know last time we talked, we had a little, you know what I'm saying, we was going back and forth on a good topics. I just want to come as a student a little bit.
I like your tree in the background. Nice tree, brother.
You know I don't celebrate all that, but you know my girl.
Should have got the colorful lights, man. The color light.
And it's a black tree. It's blacked out, just so you know. That's why I look like that. You feel me?
Should have got the black lights
black
then.
all the way.
Should have got the black lights.
Yeah. Oh, we working on it. It ain't done yet. I'm waiting for my son to come over. You know what I'm saying? And
There you go, brother.
And we're gonna get right. So.
Yep.
Now, I want to ask you, what can you teach us about Anunnaki putting caps on our lifespans?
What they talking about is reducing the length of the telomeres on the chromosomes. They have a new drug out now called telomeres. And it actually is designed to extend the telomere caps that causes a lot of what they call congenital illnesses or stuff that you get from age to decrease, like high blood pressure, diabetes, and it start giving the signs of reversing aging. It makes your skin better. So when they talk about them capping our DNA, they actually uncap most of the chromosome, where the telomeres only cover the tips of the chromosome. This is what they call in the Bible that that the spirit should always dwell with man, for his days should be 120 years. That's based off the median time frame of a person living a healthy lifestyle to reach 120 with minimal complications. But with all of the poisons added to the atmosphere, to the food, to the water, all of those things are reducing the lifespan of humans.
Yeah, I agree with you. I didn't know about that medication that they had put out. I gotta look into that because that sounds very interesting for real. But I agree with you on the telomere caps, and that was Genesis 6:3 that you was referring to when my seed shall abide in man for 120 years.
Yeah.
They definitely got that inside the Bible in Genesis 6:3. So my next question to you would be, well, what did the Anunnaki think of the humanoid that was on Earth when they arrived?
They thought of us as primitive and savage according to the text, because when they say they took one of the hominids that existed, they say they captured one of the savage hominids that was roaming the earth already. So the Sumerian tablets testified that we was already here.
Okay, well, just a little piggyback on that. Well, would you say that we have some of their DNA inside of us?
According to the text, and without me getting in the laboratory, actually looking at the genome to determine what's natural to the human and what's not, I can't say for sure, but based on the stories we've been given over the ages and the way that we've been told everything operates, it would seem that a sizable portion of the human family have Anunnaki, or they really call it the denier DNA.
So would it be safe to say that they liked us enough to at least share some of their DNA with us, or they at least found us
I
worthy?
know they liked our women enough to set off on a 6,000-year rape campaign. So they gotta like us some kind of way somewhere.
Well, you think it's rape? I mean, grape. I don't want to use that word on YouTube, but you think it's to that extreme? You wouldn't think that it was just
So I just read it out of the book.
planet? Yeah.
And they've been doing it all over the earth. They ain't stopped. Look, when they talking about blood sacrifice, they talking about a Babylonian blood magic ritual, right? When the church talk about taking the Eucharist, drink of the blood, eat the flesh of the Christ, it's symbolically eating the deceased corpse of a god, right? And spiritually, the symbolism is the same as the actual event. They reenact it in order to make sure they can keep the spell in place. This is the Babylonian sin right. That's why they say everybody is born in sin, shaped in iniquity. What they're talking about, all of us is being born, taught these bloodletting rituals of sacrifice that was written by Anunnaki by the name of Ninursin as a conjure control over people. He also wrote something called Babylonian sex magic and Babylonian money magic. And he masqueraded as Tahuti during the Anunnaki Wars.
Well, how many aliens do you think, from your information and your opinion, how many aliens do you think can be on this planet right now?
Out of 8.4 billion people?
Yeah. I mean, and plus the ones we don't know about.
Man, I can't give you no number. That right there,
That's what I was waiting for. I was saying to myself, nobody can tell you that.
that's a very high speculation that takes a lot of confidence in knowing everybody individually on the planet. I don't know everybody.
I mean, estimations. Yeah, I mean, estimations ain't never hurt nobody. I can dig it. I'll accept that answer. I'm with somebody. My girl wanted me to ask you this. She wanted me to ask you, is there any study that compares human brains to an alien species brain? If so, where can we find it?
If they did a study, it's still classified as top secret. And if they did a comparative analysis, it's in secret, it haven't been released. Because remember, they just now admitting to the possession of what they call biologics, which is the bodies of what they call aliens. So if they just now admitting that, a lot of their studies like brain mass, weight, density, how many synapses per square inch, all of that stuff, they would have not released it yet because they only just now telling us they got the body. So we don't know what studies they done on the body, actually done on the body of the biologics that they possess.
Okay, all right, that's fair. Now, my final question to you, and I don't know too much about this, so this is what I really need you to expound on, because it's hard to really get good information on this because none of us have ever been there. But what did the Anunnakis say or leave behind or depict anything? What did they say about Antarctica?
Antarctica is not called Antarctica in ancient texts. Matter of fact, Antarctica has only been called Antarctica roughly about 100 years. Mm-hmm. Right before that, I forgot the name it was called, but it's in the book of Enki. Mm-hmm. I mean Enoch. In the book of Enoch, he describes the landmass of Antarctica that's under the ice before the ice was formed. Right. So when you go to the book of Enoch and he started laying the landmass out of this desert place that he's describing what's under the ice in Antarctica. And they only just now, since they've been going to Antarctica, was able to discover that that's the place that Enoch is describing.
Okay. Yeah. Because I haven't delved into the Antarctica subject too much. I try to stick on, you know what I'm saying, to reality. Like we can't really touch base over there. But I always be fascinated with Antarctica. So I think we should hear more about it on this channel for sure.
Look up the Bashinga tribe, Antarctica.
Bashinga. Okay, bet.
Before you go, I want to just add what Rod said. If you're interested, there's an herb. Actually, it's a root called the astragalus root. I showed it on the screen, and it helps to maintain telomerase, which maintains the length of your telomeres, which is what he was talking about. You can actually go get that at any health food store.
Oh yeah, can you name that one more time?
Yeah, it's ASTRAGALUS, astragalus root. And I don't know if that's what you're talking about, Rod, but it's a supplement that I use, and basically it helps activate telomerase in your body, which is an enzyme, and that keeps your telomeres long, like in your actual DNA. It keeps it from. That's how we age. Our telomeres start to shorten. So it's called astragalus root, and you can go research it. It's really good. You should take it as a supplement. I don't know, Rod, what do you think? Is it good? Because you said a chemical or something like a drug, but there's an actual, like I'm saying, there's a natural supplement. What do you think about that? Have you heard of it?
I haven't heard of that particular root. I haven't done research on it. Before I had came across the telomeres treatments that they was putting out, I was onto the studies from a gerontologist out of UCLA named Cynthia Kenyon, and she found a receptor on the cells that allows also the aging process to ensue, which contributes to the deterioration of the telomere. So go look up, she got lectures on YouTube, Cynthia Kenyon from UCLA Berkeley. She's the gerontologist who had discovered the human aging hormone. And she created a blocker, but they still doing what's called animal trials.
While we're still talking about South Africa, I did want to ask this question in Antarctica. So Credo Mutwa talked of the moon being a spaceship that came into Earth's orbit millions of years ago. Based on South African mythology, and some Earth-based South African beliefs, they remember a time when the moon didn't exist in Earth's orbit, and there was a fog that when the moon came, it regulated the oceans and seas and took the fog away. He also talks speaking to aliens, South Africa being close to Antarctica. What do you think that things like when you talk about the Anunnaki and different aliens and things like that, is there some alien life form in Antarctica? And what do you think about inner Earth theory,
okay, first, the last question first. The Earth is cavernous. It got giant caverns. A good example is the Mammoth Cave in Kentucky, right? So just imagine that somebody can turn these into living quarters and be able to sustain themselves. All they would need is the flow of water and some kind of light in order to illuminate the cavern, and they would be able to live in there indefinitely if they know how to greenhouse farm. They have underground bunkers that's been emptied in Switzerland where people was living there, but now they tell it as if it was just a contingency for war. But Switzerland is the only country that has been the neutral zone ever since it was established, and they've been financing both sides of all wars. So those people that was living there, I don't know where they went, but they ain't there no more, because now they are showing and exposing those bunkers, thousands of them, which is cities underground. There's also cities underground in the Middle East, in India, and cities underground in Europe, and cities underground over here.
So remember, there's a pilot that went down to Antarctica, and he said that he got guided in. I think it was Robert something. He went into Antarctica, and it guided his ship in.